Hey, what's up, guys? Lindsay here. Got a Doctor Strange number 25. I sort of just picked this up because it was like my comic shop has these layered shelves, and it was literally the only comic on this one row, and I was like, Steven, come home with me. And I like the cover. It's very simple, but I feel it just encapsulates what my idea of Doctor Strange is. The only Doctor Strange comic I've ever read is the Doctor Strange versus Doctor Doom. It's a bit of a doozy to find out who the rightful Sorcerer Supreme is, but it's still very entertaining. It's old, so you gotta take that with it, but definitely good enough. So we start this story off with this right here, a woman saying, "I miss waffles," and she has what looks to be organs of mythical creatures. That's about viscera of all the any creature you can imagine that's in fantasy. This is what you got. A couple eyeballs and tentacles and just weird stuff. And she's saying she misses waffles when, for me, I just wouldn't eat that day. I just wouldn't eat. So Strange says, in the old days we used magic to make waffles. Also, I think you made a transcription error in the Book of Spells. I don't think I usually call forth a foreboding apparition. You guys, Steven, you're hilarious. So she says, quit trying to make me feel like life is normal, Strange. You get it? Because those two words are the complete exact opposite. And she's holding up an eyeball. Now, the way I'm acting, it's like I don't like this. I don't hate it. I don't love it. Yeah, I'm glad I read it. But I'll be honest, I'll forget it after I do this. I'll just forget it. So, Strange says, "Oh, I'd never do that. The extraordinary is what we traffic in, Zelma. The oddness becomes part of us, sometimes literally." She's like, "Oh, what's that mean?" It's like, you're in Doctor Strange's kitchen eating viscera breakfast, and he says oddness becomes part of us. You've heard and seen stranger things than that, Zelma, if that is your real name. So let's just calm it down. Also, I don't ever think about magicians eating. And I know Doctor Strange is technically not a magician. He's a sorcerer, but everybody just picture Chris Angel eating cereal. I bet he does it in a weird way. I bet Chris Angel does magic for himself. When nobody else is around. Because he might be a psycho. I'm basing that off Chris Angel from the reality TV show, and that was like 10 years ago, so maybe he's different. Who knows? And you see, she starts going a little bonkers. He's like, "Zelma, can you hear me? I start eliminating possibilities, an agency outside, physically manipulating my apprentice." Guess not. She's got claws and a third eye. A psychotic takeover seems more likely, but by whom? How? Let's talk about this as he runs away. He says, "But things don't always work as one expects. That's why we have doctors." I don't know if that's the idea behind why we have doctors. That things don't work out as one expects. I expect not to get sick ever. So if I phrase it that way, then yeah, that's why we have a doctor. But I don't know. I wouldn't phrase it that way, but then again, I'm not a doctor. He's a doctor, Spock. You know what? Doctors are smarter than me. There we go. He's right and I'm wrong. He runs outside. Oh, this is like the big reveal of this. For me, at least. Ever since the magic died, I've had only to rely on artifacts imbued with power. Oh, so there's this interesting... Doctor Strange can't use magic. That's what I thought we were going to be getting into. But that's interesting. What is Stephen Strange without the use of magic? He's just a guy with an axe. And isn't that what we all are at our base level? If we own an axe. Think about that. Think about that real hard. Next level psychology. He runs out of his sanctum. All these people on the street start turning into monsters. And I would like to point out that this lady's cart turns into... It has teeth. This kid's backpack has teeth. And he gets a feeling that this has all happened before. And this is what makes this comic good. I just wanted to show this really quick. There are... Let's look at the credits. Writer? Okay. Past sequence art. 18,000 names. That's going to be important. That's what makes this comic really good. And then the art sort of shifts, right? See this comparison right here. If kind of digital polished, and then we go to this with the glare. It's kind of hard to see, but you get it. You get what I'm talking about. And it's sort of the same thing happens, where he's in the sanctum and he feels compelled to leave the sanctum, and then Wong and this woman start fighting him, and he doesn't understand, and they turn into creatures. Wong turns into a vampire. She turns into one of the really bad Dracula wives from Van Helsing. That's terrifying. Oh my god, it's so gross. Cut back to the present, and he's running around. Everyone's trying to attack him. He sees this big squid monster, and because it has tentacles, we've now learned that means it's Lovecraftian. And this Lovecraft monster is coming at Steven. He's got his magical axe. I barely stopped myself from using the axe. This was never an issue when I wielded unlimited power. I like that, because Doctor Strange, his whole thing is magic. You take the magic away from him, he's still better than every single one of us, right? Because he was a doctor, so that's the way things go. But he's still incredibly intelligent, but he's severely handicapped in this situation. He says, now I've got to watch myself, because if he cannot just be slicing and dicing people in Greenwich Village, you can't even do that if you're a doctor. Well, shit. No, that's what doctors do. They do slice and dice. You can't do that on the street. That's malpractice. Damn, this is gonna hurt. He gets hit. Zelma appears, and it's all, you can see this is all gray, because when you see a stop sign that's not red, your body, it's like, oh god, it should be red. How do we remedy this? She hits him with the stop sign. He hits her with the stop sign right back, and I feel like, if there isn't a horror movie already that uses it, use a stop sign as a murder device, because I feel like it's sharp enough, it could ruin someone's life. Or end their life. So everyone just be thinking about how to kill people with stop signs. How hard are they to get out of the ground? You know what? After a post-hurricane or post-twister, if you need to murder, do it with a stop sign, blame it on the tornado. Oh my god. How many people... Holy shit, I've just stumbled up. Oh god, somebody's coming. Okay. How many people have murdered someone in, like, right before a twister or a hurricane or something, and then gotten away with it? Oh my god. Don't steal that from me. It cuts back to the past, and he sees a castle. And in the present, the castle is a mental hospital, and we see this guy, and I'll say it again. People in wheelchairs aren't scary, but they are. They're scary because I'm not afraid of this guy. What's he gonna do? I can put something in his spokes and he can't get me. But you know what's also terrifying? The thought of losing the ability to walk. Come on, I'm a comedy genius. And we get this 2-page spread of him entering this castle. And it's just, there's all this weird space. And all this, like, I don't even know how to it's Doctor Strange stuff. It's just Doctor Strange stuff, and it's really cool to look at. And you can tell why there's 18 colorists on the past sequences. And he finally he says, curse me for a novice, you control the landless space. And he runs into this little girl. She's controlling everything. She doesn't understand. She says, I am all. cut back to the mental hospital where there's a very scary looking nurse. And he runs into the person who's doing this in the present. And of course, let's just take a look at this girl. Let's just take a look at her. Well, first, before I critique this girl's appearance, look at this. Even the table has eyes. No teeth, though. Imagine everything else is a monster, and you just get to be a table. You lost that one. The haunted girl. Surprised to see me again, or surprised to remember me at all? And you sort of learn that she took his memory away from him. So let's just look at her. Number 1, she's got purple hair. That's a sign of terrible things to come. Have you ever seen a person with like purple hair in your life and you thought, oh, good. Yes. Like, I go to metal shows, which is probably, that's where I would see like the most extreme of person, you know what I mean? And there are girls who are there and they sort of have, if they got purple hair, I'm like, she's great. If you're a girl in a metal show, I judge you very hard. Even though I am also a girl in a metal show. Just know I'm doing that. Because you don't really listen to the bands. You're there with your boyfriend. You don't give a shit. You just saw animals as leaders. You just saw animals as leaders and you don't give a shit? Okay. Alright. Okay. Getting fired up. She has this awful haircut, which you can't tell right now, but it's shit. Oh, this guy has nails in his head. Who did that? He's in a straitjacket. Was it the table? Was it the table that did it? Oh god, look at this. Imagine you're not a table, but a column in a building. Well, this comic gives. But she's got this weird, just these bangs and the shaved head, and she's got this total Hot Topic edgelord coat, and she's got fingerless gloves, which is always... How insane do you have to be to think you need gloves? But not the fingers of the glove. That's insane. And of course she's wearing stockings that are colored like some Alice in Wonderland or just something that's bad news. Everything about this girl's look is just, it lets you know. You know what? You gotta respect her. Because at least she's not like a regular girl, but then she looks like this in her mind's eye. So then when you get to know her, you're like, oh no! I've got myself into a bit of a situation. At least you know what you're getting into with this. And I'm surprised she's not wearing Converse, because I hate Converse, and she's the type who would be wearing them. And then I'll show this. This is just good. This right here just is... This is the cool aspect of the comic. All these sounds I'm making with my mouth. You can see this, like, computerized, colored, polish look. And then we get this, the past sequence, which is a lot more vividly colored, a lot more use of black shading. You can just clearly see. I mean, these look like two pages from two different comics. And that's really interesting. That's the aspect of this that makes me be like, oh, maybe I should read more Doctor Strange. If they're doing this kind of cool stuff with the art, I'm into it. And even this gets even, well, I'll just show this. I don't care. This is also a past sequence, right? But this is also a part of the same past sequence. You can see why they had 18 colors on this. You know, I'm sorry, it was 19. I just want this without the glare. So, this is from the same time period. This is more muted colors and everything. And then this, the drawing style has changed. See, this face, and then it turns into that, which is more like old school looking drawing. And then especially this face, with the way that it is shaded. You know what? That could be Nick Fury. And just this kind of color palette makes me think of Marvel now. You know, sort of the muted colors, muted purples and pinks. But they really went out on this, so with the different art styles, I'm into it. And then what is this? you find out that he tried to help her at one point, and you found a child with terrible power she didn't understand, and you took it away, which, what are you supposed to do? There's only so much you can do to discipline children. Hey, are you having magical powers? You better cut that shit out. Awful lady. Who gave you that haircut? We need to stop. You know what? If people would take a stand and prevent people from doing these things, life would be a lot better. If she went to a hairdresser and said, I want this, I want this. You know how a haircut is good? There's no name for it. I know a girl who's a hairdresser. I need to confirm that with her. So, after he took her power away, she ended up in a mental hospital, which, yeah, and she gets upset that Strange doesn't remember her, which, of course, she took his memory away, or something happened there, and he figures out that you got the power back when I remembered you. And then we go back to this sort of coloring and this old school looking way of drawing. It's not like Infinity Gauntlet style drawing, but it's more in that vein than what is comic art now. So I'm into that. A couple more cool past sequences and stuff. And then she just kind of forgives him. And she's complaining. She's like, it's not easy when you take my power away. And then he offers to apprentice her. Even though he's got an apprentice, I feel like he can't have two apprentices at once, you know what I'm saying? She's like, oh, well, I'm wasting my time with this. I've had these powers for like an hour total because she's a shitty teenager. I'm sure I can think of better things to do with people's memories. In fact, I think I already have. Be seeing you, Doc. And it's kind of a weird pivot, because he's like, I'll apprentice you, I'll help you. And she's like, no, I don't want your help. Why am I wasting my time? So it's sort of, she just kind of flips, but yeah, there's nothing like really super exceptional with the story. It just wanders around, you see some past sequences that look dope. He encounters a girl that he helped by taking her powers away, which, what are you even supposed to do? He's not going to raise you. He's Stephen Strange. You shouldn't expect him to raise you like that. Come on. He's got his own life. And then it just sort of works out in the end. It's like a one-shot. But I'm sure it makes sense in the greater context. But it's cool. The art sequences are really the shining point of this. Shining point, yes. Lindsay Parks, great orator of the century. Remember to subscribe. Tell me if you've read any Doctor Strange that's like really exceptional, because I'm thinking about getting into the character. Also, where's your dick at, bro? Where's your dick?